acknowledge the traditional custodians of the land on which we gather, the Turrbal people of Yuggera land, as well as the Woiwurrung people of the Wurundjeri land. We recognise their continued connection to the land and waters of this beautiful place and acknowledge that they never ceded sovereignty. We respect all Turrbal and Woiwurrung elders and ancestors and any First Nations people here today.
I can't take it anymore!
Good afternoon, good evening, good day, and good morning, Blurtsters, wherever you are around the world. You are listening to the Blurt. Good evening, you absolutely are listening to the new Blurt. It is the 18th of January. I always have trouble saying January. I love the song, a really good song. January, it's a really good song. But honestly, I find it. And February, see, I can't say that either. February. Not sure. Sorry, language is just not happening tonight. April's easy. July, June, obviously. But February, very hard. January. There you go. Anyway, it's the 18th of the, January, obviously. The first 2022, and it is our second show of the year. And it has started brilliantly, so it obviously can only get better from here. It's called Who Gives a Rat's? And obviously that is pertaining to the fact that no one can get one, i.e. a rapid antigen test in this country at the moment, mainly because, well, our Prime Minister's a dick. But hopefully he won't be. Well, not that he won't be a dick. He'll still be a dick. He just won't be the Prime Minister. That's what we're hoping for anyway in very, very soon. Very, very soon times. That's terrible English, but I'm not sure how else to put it at this stage. Anyway, on tonight's show, we have What's on the Box. And What's on the Box is all about, it sort of says what it is. It's what's on the box, i.e. what's on at the movies, what's on the streaming services, what's on even on the TV. Yep, terrestrial TV sometimes we actually do talk about. So they are some of the things that we do talk about in What's on the Box. And then after that, we've got Party in the USA, which if you've ever listened to this show before, and I really hope you have, is all about politics in America. And last year, we were very lucky to have Dr. David Smith on this show, who is a expert in American politics, and he's from the PEP podcast with Chaz Licciardello, and he'll be back early in the year as well with the PEP podcast. So if you like your American politics, pick up that one. Hopefully, if we're lucky, we might get him back on this show again this year. He was a fantastic guest, absolutely. And the last one, just to round it all up, will be good news, because we all need some. Yes, I swore then. You wouldn't be able to tell on the podcast, but I did say fuck. So there you go. Anyway.
Again?
Sorry?
You said it again?
Did I? Oh. Now that voice you can hear in the background is, as you know, Wency.
Hello, Mr. Kegster. How are things up there or down there? We're literally at the top end of the world.
Well, look, mate, I've got a very, very good chance of getting COVID. I went to work today.
So if you're missing in action next week, we'll know why.
Yeah, well, no, I'll just be isolating. I'll still do the show. Yeah. I mean, I'll stop in the house. So, but anyway, I went to work today. It was really good, actually, in the city. I saw something really, really weird this morning. I was, as you do when you're in the city, and I was walking through the middle of the city, and there's a lovely laneway. As you know, in Melbourne, there's lots of laneways. Mm-hmm. If people haven't seen this show before, I'm in Melbourne, Wency's in Queensland, and he's in FNQ, as they say at the moment, or as I like to say, NQR. But he's up there at the moment. So, anyway, so I was in one of those lovely laneways. If you remember where the Mitre Tavern is and still is, it's been there for a long time. And it was one of the weirdest things I've ever seen. I was walking down the lane, and this lady, just right in the middle of the lane, looks like she's doing Tai Chi. Like she's doing Vedic, like yoga-esque, Tai Chi-esque poses. And people on the podcast can't see, but I'm doing sort of Tai Chi moves, etc. at the moment. Anyway, and she was she was in this lane doing these yoga poses, etc. And I'm thinking, oh wow, she's yogaing up and tai chiing. Oh wow, and then her personal trainer's next to her, and then all of a sudden, I saw this puff of smoke come from the personal trainer, and I was just like,
Oh no,
what the heck is going on here? And this guy's not a personal trainer at all, because the closer I got, I could tell the only training he's doing is bending the elbow. And so he's sitting there smoking a dart. So he's obviously not a personal trainer. But the more hilarious thing was that she was smoking a dart as well.
while she was doing Tai
What was
Chi.
going? Oh, mate, it was the weirdest thing I've ever seen. She's doing all this bendy leg stuff, and then she goes having a drag, and I'm just, this doesn't. I'm sorry, one of these things is not like the other. This does not make sense.
Does not compute. Does not compute.
No, it was anyway. So that was the start of my day. So it started weirdly, and it just got boring after that. Oh my God, he's gone offline. That's not good. We'll get him back. He's not just a bauble. He's more than a bauble to this show. Oh, he's back. Excellent.
Yes, I'm back.
Excellent.
Don't know what happened there.
Very good. No, neither do I. You baubled up.
Yeah. I
you turned
baubled
into
up.
a bauble. You really got to change your bauble. You can't keep being a bauble. Bauble's
Leave
gone.
my baubles alone, will you? I like my bauble.
I will, sweet lips.
All right. Thanks, sweetie.
If people haven't listened to last week's podcast yet, that is a reference to what was it? The pearlfish that fished the sea.
Oh no, the sweet lips is what I ate for dinner last week. But the pearlfish, is the one that sleeps in a sea cucumber's anus.
Yes,
that's right, anus. You heard that right. Just for shits and giggles.
Absolutely. I think we've actually got a poor old sea cucumber seeing one of those bloody pearlfish coming right now.
Mm. Yes.
I can imagine that just wouldn't be. Yeah. Anyway, people, you got to listen to that episode. Learn all about the non-consensual relationship between the sea cucumber and the pearlfish. It's really terrible. And the cannibalistic monkeys that eat their brothers and sisters. That's always interesting as well. But that was last week's show. This is this week's show. So, anyway, my friend, how are you doing in NQ? How's it all going?
Doing well. Going into the office every day, unlike Melburnians and Brisbaneites. Forced to go into the office. Would rather work from here in my little apartment.
I bet you would. It looks quite good.
Yeah, it's not too bad. 3-bedroom. I must say it's probably better than the house that we live in at the moment in Brisbane, which is a rental. There's less things that are broken.
That's always the case
wrong.
when you get a hotel.
Yes. Yeah. Well, this is an Airbnb, so it's not in the best state, but yeah, it's good.
Nice. And so you're actually forced to go into work because you're working for the council up there, aren't you?
I am. And so they don't really have a work from home policy.
At all.
So, well, they did briefly last year a couple of times when it was really bad. But once the scare was gone, it's everyone back in the office, bums on seats.
Wow! So they just totally went against it and went, no, we don't care.
Yeah. Well, the advantage is that up here in Townsville, there's not many cases, so doesn't spread as much. So I can understand their reasons. So, but yeah, I'm okay with that because it does make it a bit easier to communicate with colleagues and when you're trying to get things done, especially not at council rates, as in pace. Because they work a bit slower. I like working a bit faster. So it's always good to talk to someone right next to and say, hey, can you do this? All right, cool. I'll fix my side. You do your bit. Done. Fixed. So
are they good people? Are they good people to work with up there?
Yeah, they've been really good. Really, really enjoying it so far. So yeah.
There's a little bit of a lag. There's a little bit of lag, just so you know, but it's not too bad.
Okay. Yeah. Well, I am on 5G on our national carrier, which worked last week, but hopefully it'll be just as good, despite the little bit of lag we get.
Yeah. For the podcast, it's not too bad. It's not a big deal. It's just if you go live type thing. But
Yeah,
what I'm finding, Wency, is that I think that the listeners we were getting before are definitely on Facebook. Because it's very hard to get people listening on Twitter and YouTube. But
Yes.
but you know, Facebook. I'm so like you. I'm so dead against Facebook and everything they stand for. So I find it very hard. And to be honest with you, look, I'm not really that fussed if we get viewers or not live. If they want to watch us at another time, but for me, it's all about the podcast. It's all about the content
about the
we put
listening.
out. And yeah, well, see, that's the other thing. I don't know if you've did you catch up with the Substack figures we've been getting on some of the old podcasts?
Yeah, they've done pretty well. Some of them late last year. So
yeah,
I've been pretty impressed.
Yeah, I was really, really surprised. There was a couple that, getting up into the triple figures up there sort of thing. And obviously, as you probably saw, the Dr. David Smith podcast, far and above the most favorite one that's been on this show so far. So definitely want to get him back. And trying to, at the moment, trying to get some people from the Oz Institute on as well. And I've been having a chat with Thomas from Comedy vs. The Economist.
Okay. And
comedian
I have successfully communicated with one of the Indigenous people that I spoke about in our indelible Indigenous segments last year. So hopefully we can get Hannah on the show sometime soon. And so
what did Hannah say?
She was keen to join. She's done podcasts and local radio in the past, and so she's quite keen to join.
Can we get it for next week, just before Australia Day?
I will try.
Yeah, no, definitely. Implore to her that we'd love to get her on, so that she can properly tell the story, and we can put it out in the podcast, etc. And there are hundreds of people that are now listening to our podcast, so it would be good to get even more out. So because I don't want to speak on the First Nations behalf enough. I'd like them to be able to tell their own story. It's not happening. It's not happening to me, so I'm not. We're not fully understanding it, but we do fully respect it. Which is
exactly.
But what we might do, just for a second, is do this. I think
The Australia Institute produces high-quality research that has real-world impact, whether it's revealing the $10.3 billion in fossil fuel subsidies provided by federal and state governments last year, or our long-standing research advocating for a federal anti-corruption commission with real teeth. We change minds. To donate, head on over to australiainstitute.org.au.
Hey there, get this crazy man off the streets.
Notice, but lately I've been drifting aimlessly. Was gonna be this way.
Oh my God. Would you stop changing channels and just tell me what's on the box? What's on the box, Wency?
What is on the box? Wouldn't you like to know?
I
like
would.
to know what's in the box. But on the box, we watched last night on Amazon Prime Video a Danish movie by the English title of Dream Builders. I was thinking I'm not going to try this in Danish, but I'm going to give it a go, and you can laugh at me as much as you want. But I think you pronounce it, or it might be Drome Byggerne, Dream Builders. So, little. I'll tell you.
Have you got a clip? Have you got a clip?
Nope.
Oh,
Nope.
Okay.
No. Not this time. Sorry. So this is a Danish movie, animated, originally released in 2020, but released to the US and other English-speaking markets late last year. I think it was around about October 2021. Tells a story of a young girl who magically gains powers and also gains a blended family through her father. So gets a stepmom and a stepsister. And she then uses those powers that she's gained to seek revenge, but it all goes wrong, and she must then fix her mistakes. So it ends happily, of course, and it's a cute little story. It's weird watching a movie that's out of sync because it's dubbed in English, but it's a nice little story. Kids loved it. I'll give it 3.5 bloat stars out of 5.
3.5. It didn't get to 4, so just a nice little
4.
view and sort of.
Yeah, it was worth watching. It went for about 80, 90 minutes. It's worth watching. It's a nice story. Different to what you see in Hollywood and other animated movies. But it's enjoyable.
It's funny that you talk about subtitle, because we actually went to the movies the other day, and I don't know if I told you about it, but we went and saw a film called Delicious, which is a French film, and and it's not dubbed at all. It's just subtitles, and it's a fantastic movie. And if you get to get it up there, I'm sure you should, in Brisbane especially. I don't know about Townsville so much, but it's about this French chef. Well, actually, to be honest with you, it's the actual sort of based on the history of how the first restaurant ever started in France.
Oh, right.
And it's really quite interesting. I don't want to tell you too much about it because it's worth going to have a look at. But it wasn't one I was necessarily going to talk about. I've got a couple I want to talk about, but it's definitely worth having a look at. I will put the link in the show notes. But yeah, just
No, you go.
No, go for it. Sorry.
I was just going to ask, was the first restaurant called Michelin?
No.
No. Okay. All right.
No. The first restaurant was called Delicieux.
Oh, so hence the movie. Okay.
Yeah. That was named after a pastry that had truffles and smoked potatoes in a little pastry.
Okay.
I imagine it was probably very, very good. But there's quite a few machinations that happen through it, and it's in revolutionary times. So there's a lot sort of going on that the peasants are not necessarily revolting. Well, they are revolting, but you don't. I mean, not the horrible people. They're I mean, probably some of them are, but that's not my point. No, not that sort of revolt. But they're revolting. It's all that sort of time of the opulence of the monarchy in France and blah blah blah. So it's of that period, big time. So it's really, really good. It's absolutely brilliant. We all absolutely loved it. I think it was like 4.5 all around sort of thing. But that wasn't what I wanted to show. What I wanted to show was this. So I've got a couple actually. Just hold your horses. See if this works. So far, hold on. Something's. Let's see if I can pop it up here. On the podcast, we're actually just waiting for stuff to happen. And I will this little bit.
Video's about to play.
This is called Manifest. And it's on Netflix at the moment. And it's finding it very, very hard to start up. But hopefully to God it will. I think it's coming around about now. Would be good.
Around about Christmas 2022.
Yeah, it's trying hard.
I thought you upgraded your interwebs.
Here we go.
You missed it for 5.5 years.
If you'd seen us that afternoon.
I didn't do anything. Everything was good, and then it shit itself. Come on. Don't play this game. Sorry, people on the podcast. We
look like a typical American family returning.
This is the internet you gave us, Mr.
My brother Ben and his twins, Olive and
yeah. It's only in case it pops up, I'll sort of speak over it. But manifest is all about the manifest is a list. It's the manifest of the plane.
The passenger list.
you haven't aged a day.
Olive,
Where's Mom?
your mom got sick.
No, Dad. No.
So that girl had just been on a plane for 5 years. 5 years
Your
is
cell
past.
regeneration model?
It works.
We've been treating pediatric patients
Yeah,
for 30
so-
months. We with the same regimen, right where we left off.
There's a new treatment protocol for pediatric cases. If we get a jump in the treatment, the odds are excellent.
Didn't expect you getting back to work this fast.
It's really sucked us in.
It's changed since you've been gone.
Mm.
Who is she?
It was 2 years before I even looked at another. Even before I got on that plane, I lost sight of your life. We're gonna fix that. I'm not going anywhere.
The universe just gave all of us.
So it's all about a plane full of people that have left after their partners, as it were, and the plane that they were on, when it actually landed, which looks like it was only a couple of hours ago from the people that are actually on the plane, they hadn't realized, but they've actually been away for 5 years.
Wow. I'm curious to know how that happened, but yeah.
All their so all their partners, etc., have got, new boyfriends, girlfriends, and people have died and all these sort of things. But there's a lot of sinister, supernatural, weird shit happening. It's it's absolutely worth having a look at. It's on
What's the rating
Netflix.
on that one?
Oh, do you mean kids wise?
Yeah, just the rating is M.
You mean kids wise?
Not review wise.
I would think so.
Like M. Yeah, sounds like it might be. Won't be PG, would it?
Yeah, no, I would think. I would think it probably was. That would make sense.
That sounds interesting. I think I might have to put it on my my wish list.
Oh yeah, no, I highly recommend that you do. It sucked us in. I mean, you put us onto it. We're just like, oh wow. But anyway, we must crack on. The other one, and I'll be quite quick on this. I did talk about it last week, just a little bit, and I knew what's on the box, so I was just going to talk about it a little bit more. So it's Wes Anderson's latest film, and Wes Anderson was behind the Royal Tenenbaums, the Grand Budapest Hotel. So if you like Wes Anderson stuff, which I do, and I love the Grand Budapest Hotel with Ray Fiennes, that's just weird and wonderful stuff. If you haven't seen that, you definitely want to. And again, this one is a bit weird and quirky as well, and it's based on it's set in the 1960s France. The film is about an outpost of American magazine station in the small fictional town of Ennui-sur-Blaise. The story follows an obsessive editor, Arthur Howitzer Jr., and his set of American expatriate writers as they compile stories for the final issue of the magazine. So what actually happens is these writers tell the stories, and the stories come alive as they are narrating what's actually happening, and you're seeing the story. And then you get actors like Benedicto del Toro and Adrian Brody and Bill Murray's in it. Owen Wilson's in it for a little bit. There's a lot of really good people in it. Frances McDormand plays a really good role in it. There's a really young guy, and I can't remember his name, but all the girls will know who he is because I'm pretty sure he's pretty popular in teen to 25 sort of stakes. Timothy Chalamet, that's his name.
What's his name?
He was actually in Timothy Chalamet, and he's young. He's anywhere between 18 and 25. I can't tell how old that is anymore. Just looking at the type thing. But anyway, he's really good. He plays a really good role in it. And I personally really enjoyed it. I'd give it at least 4 blurt stars at least. But some other people might go and see it and not like it at all. So you have been warned, blurtsters. But my taste may be different to yours. I mean, I do like a lot of, mainstream stuff, but I definitely like a lot of stuff that's out there. And this is definitely out there. And if you like Wes Anderson, a very good chance you'll like this. So
was Wes Anderson
there you go.
Nightmare on Elm Street?
I apologize. What was that? Sorry?
Was Wes Anderson Nightmare on Elm Street? Or is that someone else I'm thinking of?
No, I think it. I'm not sure. You may be right. Let's just do a quick check on that.
Let's call him
another one that looks really good is Nightmare Alley. That looks really good too.
Oh yeah, I've heard about that. I don't know much about it.
No, Nightmare on Elm Street is Wes Craven.
Wes Craven. Okay, so it was a Wes, but just the wrong one. Okay.
Yeah.
There you go.
But yes. So there you do go.
Thank you.
No problem. So that's what I'm here for, my friend. That is what I am here for.
Yes.
And we need to get this. Well, as they say in the classics, we need to get this party going.
Yeah.
Did you have some stuff you wanted to have a chat about in Party in the USA?
Yep, I've got a couple of little things. Oh, well, one little thing and one big thing. So you can stop me any
go
time.
for it.
All right. So every year around January, the what do they call the TSA, the Transport Security Administration, or something like that in America.
Oh yeah, America. Yep.
Releases their top 10 things that they confiscated at airports.
Nice.
And they've released a Twitter with a video showing all these pieces, but I'll just quickly go through them. So number 10 was they found bullets hidden in a deodorant stick. They've also found a long-barreled, antique-looking pistol, a breakfast burrito with meth in it, a belt buckle hiding a firearm, a cleaver.
How big a belt? I mean, how big a guy are you to have like a 44 Magnum in your belt and they can't even tell? I mean, seriously.
Well, the buckle would have, the belt buckle from the photo looked like at least 6-7 inches wide and maybe 4 inches tall. And the gun was a small gun, but yes, it was hidden in there.
Wow, that's crazy.
Oh, it is nuts. At number 6, a cleaver. Now, mind you, during the video on Twitter, they have all these comments and they tell you what airport they confiscated it from. But when the cleaver came up, their little joke was, not a clever idea to bring this through security. Get it?
That's terrible.
Oh, it is terrible.
That's something I'd say. That's really bad.
Yeah. Number 5 was a can of bear spray. At number 4 was a machete. Number 3, fireworks. Number 2, a wine bottle holder that looks like a gun. And
hold
number
on.
Yeah.
Number one.
What do you think? Number one on the top 10 list was a chainsaw.
Well, we've got something for that too. Hold on.
Yeah.
Why you being a dickhead for? Stop being a dickhead.
A chainsaw.
A chainsaw.
Where are they trying to smuggle a chainsaw? Seriously. I mean, what, in their luggage, or that's nuts? How big was the chainsaw?
Looked like it was full size. So I don't know. Maybe they had a coat on, thinking they can hide it, or in their on-board luggage. God knows. Only in America, as they say.
Oh, definitely. But I wonder what your conversation is when you sort of get caught with it. So, so I see you've got a chainsaw there, trying to bring a chainsaw into America. Is it bringing into America, out of America, through America? I mean, what is it?
I'm guessing it's probably domestic as well, because they do the screen checks.
Yeah, I would have thought so, because no one would be stupid enough outside of America to try to bring a chainsaw in. It doesn't surprise me. Someone would definitely be stupid enough to try to get a chainsaw through domestic airlines.
Yeah.
That totally makes sense.
Or maybe they just tried to take it outside of America, thinking they won't have one in the foreign country that they were going to.
Oh, very true. Yes, no, they couldn't find a chainsaw to cut down all those palm trees they needed to for their palm oil that they were about to mine, or whatever the hell they were. It just doesn't make any sense whatsoever. That is one of the weirdest and most wonderful things I have heard. No, more weird than wonderful, but anyway.
Yeah.
Do you have anything else? That was good.
No,
that was very good.
You go. Yeah. No, you go. I've got more, but yours might go a bit longer, so we'll see how we go for time.
How did you guess? It does. I'll try to not.
You and your American politics. I know you love your American politics.
I'll try to not go too long here. I really will try. But anyway, so in Washington at the moment, in the Senate, the Democrats plan to press ahead with the effort to push new voting rights protections through the Congress. Looks like it's not going to be. It's not going to happen, really. Even though President Biden's agenda has been undercut by the members of his own party. So what we're saying there is they're trying to get a voting rights protection through Congress. They've got people like Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin, both who are sort of they're meant to vote with the Democrats, which gives them the 50 that they need, and then Kamala Harris for the 51. But the thing is with those two is they're not actually Democrats. I'm not actually sure what they are as such. I probably should know. I will find out. But they're not Republicans. They're not Republicans. But what they are is, well, small r Republicans, if you like. They're Democrats in really, really red states. So they find it very hard to make sensible, progressive decisions. And this is what the Democrats are really fighting with a lot at the moment. So this is a classic. Sense. Yeah, and this is an absolute classic because the voting rights they're trying to get through is all through the country at the moment. There's lots of state legislature, which means in the state politics, not in the federal. They are trying to, the governors, mostly in the red states, I think only in the red states, to be honest, but there's quite a few red states, unfortunately. They are trying to push voting rights through, which will basically minimize the rights of people of color, people of lower socioeconomic circumstances. You know, it's the same old. The sort of people that would probably vote for the Democrats because they might have a chance of actually getting some benefit of some kind. They might have their Medicare or Medicaid upgraded, or there might be some benefit that's paid for, et cetera, et cetera. Whereas the Republicans, I don't know, they just seem to be, on a road, well, to hell, really. I mean, they don't have any policies of any kind. All they seem to want to do is basically say that the Democrats are trying to ruin your life. I mean,
that sounds familiar.
Yeah, I know, but
where we had that?
Yeah, I mean, it's really frustrating, and it must be incredibly frustrating for people in America at the moment because there's smart Republicans that are making really dumb decisions, and it's going to and is affecting the country. So, classic example here is that the Senate on Tuesday will begin to debate legislation that combines two separate bills already passed by the House: the Freedom to Vote Act, and that's what I'm talking about, and the John Lewis Voting Rights Advancement Act. And the move would allow the Senate to bring the bill directly to the floor, avoiding an initial filibuster. Now, we've talked in Party in the USA before, and Dr. David Smith talked about it as well. A filibuster is all about you need over 60 votes. So you need 60% basically to be able to just push legislation through in America under your administration. If you're in power, you can't just do it on a 51. If you do it on a 51, then you'll have this filibuster bullshit happen, which is when someone decides they're just going to talk forever about something, so you can't push your bill through. It's absolutely ridiculous. It doesn't make any sense. And it goes back to when their parliament was formed. And when it was formed originally, it was very, very racist. And there were still slave traders making these laws, etc. So, and abiding by them. So that's how far this terrible, shocking law goes back. I don't think it's even written down. It's just, it's something they do. It's really terrible. But anyway, Kirsten Sinema and Joe Manchin won't fight against it. That's the problem.
Yeah.
And that's what I was saying before, because
of the state that they're leaving. They're afraid of losing their seat or whatever they call it.
Yeah. So this is a classic example. Like a few years ago, if you probably remember, we had, I think it was Tony Windsor and Rob Oakeshott ended up being the minority parliament with the Julia Gillard government years ago.
Yeah, remember that.
And they ended up, sorry, Wency.
No, I just said I remember that very well when they were at the ballot.
It was fondly for a little while, but anyway, so those two voted against their electorates quite a few times because their electorates had terrible ideas, didn't read enough. Whereas Tony Windsor and Rob Oakeshott were very bright cookies, and they knew what their electorate actually needed, especially from a Greens perspective, etc., etc. So anyway, what I'm trying to say is they voted even knowing that voting against their electorate could mean they won't get voted in next time. They did it because they knew it was the best thing for the country and the best thing for the electorate. What I'm trying to say is Joe Manchin and Kirsten Sinema are gutless wonders, and all they're doing is saving their bacon so that they can get voted back in, because they are not doing this for the good of the country. And Joe Manchin's already a millionaire. His son is going to be a millionaire. He's in the pocket of the fossil fuel companies. So, it just goes on and on. And this is their problem. They've got a real issue over there at the moment. And sorry, Gafford.
No, I was just going to ask, I don't understand the detail of the bill and how it affects the minority and why they think that it's going to affect them negatively. Can you explain that?
Yeah, absolutely. So what's happening in a lot of those red states, what they're doing is they're minimizing the ballot boxes, and it just is that many people of color in America don't have the wherewithal to be able to get to another ballot box that's well over the other side of town, because they might not have any, they might not have any transport, etc., and it's too hard to get there by bus. So, as you know, because it's voluntary, they might just go, it's too hard.
Too hard, yeah. Okay.
there's another thing that they have in America too. It's called Souls to the Polls. And what they do is they have a situation where people of color, again, they all, because many go to like gospel churches, etc., on a Sunday, and then you don't call them priests in a gospel church. I don't know what you call them. I can't remember what you call them. No, father. Maybe it's a father. I can't remember. But But anyway, maybe it's a pastor. You could be right. But they encourage all those people to vote, not how to vote, but to go out and vote. So that's been, But what they're doing in these red states is saying, no, you can't vote on Sundays.
Oh,
so now you sort of get an idea of the sort of absolute shit, non-progressive, racist. It's just pure racism 101, what they're doing and how they're trying to get away with it. And not even talking about what's happening. Oh, I will just mention a couple of other things. We've talked about on the show before with Texas with the abortion issue.
Yep.
And they've been trying to test that law, etc. So just in case people aren't aware, the update is that Texas made a law a while ago that I think it was 6 weeks or something. If you tried to have an abortion before 6 weeks, you could be arrested, fined, etc., etc. And if people found out you were trying to have abortion, they could dob you in, and I think they can get paid $10,000 or something.
You get a prize. You get a prize.
Yeah,
you get a prize.
Yeah, exactly right. It's really terrible, but the plus to this is that a lot of the blue states, in California in particular, has gone, okay, well, if you're going to go under the amendment and under the Constitution to say that you have a right to change this to change this abortion bill, etc. What we're going to do is we're going to make it illegal and a lot harder for anyone in our state to get guns.
They should just do that. Just
well, they are going to. They're going to, and they're trying to push it to New York as well. And I think you'll find a lot of the other blue states that have got blue governors will start doing that too. They're going to, if you're going to play this game, buddy.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's
awesome
it's interesting. It's really, really interesting.
Yeah. That's one of the few things that annoys me about the country, that they still have this gun problem and they just don't do anything about it.
Yeah, no, it's pretty bad. And I think I've alluded to before, there's 330 million people in America. And apparently Michael Moore was saying, I think this is right. I could be wrong, but I think this is right. I think he said 50 odd million of them have, I think, 70 or 80% of all the guns.
Wow, just now, 50 million of them.
And there's 330 million of them in America.
Yeah.
So
wow.
Tell me that's not scary.
Yeah, they love the guns.
Oh,
and machine guns.
They do.
And high-powered rifles.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Assault weapons.
Well, in Phoenix, Arizona, is it Phoenix, Arizona, or is it Texas? I can't remember. There's an open carry law somewhere, and you can just rock up with a machine gun into a Starbucks.
God, if I saw that, that would scare the shit out of me.
Oh, you wouldn't be the only one, mate. And what about the poor bastards who's making your coffee? He's going, oh God, this better be the best coffee I ever make in my life. I mean,
which is hard to do from Starbucks, admittedly, but
yeah, well, absolutely, totally agree, 100% agree. Did you have anything else there?
No, well, sort of. I was going to touch on some of that stuff which you've covered, because we're about to celebrate 1 year of Joe Biden coming in as president.
Well, hold on. We've got, I think we've got a few fans, of Joe's in the house. I think. Let's just
see if
we can. See if we can get a word from them. Just see what we've got.
Why you
Oh
being a
no, that
dickhead
wasn't.
fool?
No.
Stop being a
Stop. No, that's not
dickhead.
on. That's not on. We weren't looking at that.
Yeah.
We weren't looking for that.
Come on,
That
a bit
that
more
wasn't on.
respect.
It was- no,
If
that
that-
was terrible.
Yeah, 45th president.
Yeah. You know they've got this thing in America, right? I'm not sure if you know, but the right have got this chant, and it's called "Let's Go Brandon." Have you heard about it?
Okay. No, I don't know anything about that one.
Okay. So apparently there is a NASCAR racer or a racer of some vehicle that goes around a track, and his name is Brandon something or other.
Mm-hmm.
And when all these sort of, rednecks were at the raceway, what he thought he heard was, "Let's go, Brandon, let's go, Brandon." But they were all going, "Fuck you, Biden, fuck you, Biden." So, yeah.
Wow.
So
Bloody
that's what
rednecks.
they do now with their subtlety. They'll go across the airways and whatever, and they go, "Let's go, Brandon." And in fact, there was at Christmas, I think at Christmas time, the president always receives calls from different kids, and they'll say what they want to get from Santa, etc. And this a-hole rang up. It was a bloke, and he said to the president, he said, "Let's go, Brandon." And then he hung up. And Biden, I mean, Biden's 80, but you would have thought his age would have told him what that meant. But he was so straight. It was like he didn't have a clue what was going on. Just, have a good day. Merry Christmas.
Yeah. Like any grandfather would do.
Yeah.
But,
sorry, anyway. I apologize.
I just briefly wanted to just go through some of his achievements, even though, like you said earlier, that he has struggled with getting things through the House and other places because of like those two
big time,
revolting people.
Yeah.
I mean that in the revolting sense.
No,
horrible
no,
sense.
they're not great. They're revolting in every sense. They're not great.
Exactly. So one of the things he has been able to pass was the bipartisan infrastructure law, and I'll put a link in the show notes, and that's where they're going to start rebuilding American roads, bridges, and rail, expand access to clean drinking water, ensure every American has access to high-speed internet. Part of that law is also going to tackle climate crisis, advance the environmental justice, and invest in communities that have often been left behind. So there's some of the things he's been able to achieve. So obviously that's still got to be done, but yeah, at least the bill's passed through. Some of the other achievements, a COVID-19 relief package that helped cut child poverty, low unemployment rate, and he's been able to repair alliances and flush out the culture of lies from the White House after Trump's term. So he's done a little bit, but yeah, so he's had a lot of struggle, I think.
Yeah, it's really sad because so many Americans watch complete shit, and they the information they get is just terrible. It really is terrible information, and totally false so often that they don't even realize what is in that package for them, and they don't even realize that a benefit they may already have received was because of the Democrats fighting to push it through. Now, just adjunct on what you were talking about with, especially with that bill, there was bugger all Republicans that helped pass it, and the Democrats pushed for it all the time. But as soon as it went through and they didn't do anything for it whatsoever, the Republicans went round to all their states and all their legislatures or whatever and spruiked how good it was that they got all these benefits. And it's just, it does my head in. It absolutely does my head in. It's like, how dumb? I mean, seriously, how dumb are these people? It's just, oh, wow.
But as we know how biased the coverage in the media over there is. So it's never going to be in favour of the Democrats. So it's very easy to peddle all that misinformation and just utter bullshit news that they get.
Well, again, unfortunately, you know, Murdoch strikes again. I mean, Fox has got so many channels of shit and just untruth, completely not factual.
Exactly.
And and I mean, as you know, they do that here as well. And you know, information about the Greens, which will be complete rubbish, and the Labor Party, etc., etc. But they seem to be eating their own at the moment. So especially over here. So keep eating.
Yeah, exactly. Cannibalize yourselves, guys.
Yep. We're on your side. We're all for cannibalism.
Yes, as long as it's your own.
Correct.
Stay in your own little quarters, Murdochs.
You know, I got the good news. I don't want no bad news. Don't show me no dirty shoes. I just want the good news. You know, I don't want no bad news. Don't show me no dirty shoes. I just want the good news.
We do want the good news, and I'm more than happy if you want to go, or did you just go? I can't remember.
I just went, so let's start with you.
Okay, my friend. Well, apparently, a birdie told that you had picked for your news. You picked the very same article that I am going to allude to tonight. Now, we're already at 52, and we don't need to keep smashing on. So we'll keep this slightly brief. But the good news is all about the googly eyes stuck on vision as a prank played on Adelaide's founding father and other public faces. So I will allude to that, and I'll put this in the show notes. I think I've already, I'll put in the show notes.
Yes,
anyway, so giant googly eyes have... Sorry, Wency, what was that?
No, sorry to interrupt. I just said, yep, as always, it'll be there in the show notes. Carry on.
Yeah, no,
it's
absolutely.
The lag.
Hush. Yes, it is a lag. Giant googly eyes have continued to appear, and Adelaide most recently this morning on a statue of city planner Colonel William Light as he looks over the city from a site aptly called Light's Vision. So this statue at the moment has these googly eyes, which you will be able to see if you go to the show notes and check out the links. And you'll see that the prank has been quite a good one because they've put it on Dan Murphy's. He's got big, massive googly eyes on him, which is pretty good. And they've done it to KFC as well. The Colonel's Secret Herbs and Spice got big googly eyes on the bucket. Very good. So the Colonel looks like he can actually see for a change, which is quite good.
See how shit his meat is.
And what have we got? In all the In all of the madness happening right now, I'm glad they have found a way to bring a giggle to people, one person wrote on the ABC's Adelaide Facebook page. Another said he hoped Colonel Light would have seen the funny side. So lots of people quite happy about it. Adelaide Lord Mayor Sandy Verschaw said, while the additions to the Colonel statue have been taken off, she saw the lighter side. Colonel Light's googly eyes have been removed. However, I think we all need a laugh at the moment, and the googly eyes appearing around Adelaide have certainly given people a chuckle, she said. There is a little movie on the eyes and all the rest of it, and in the show notes you can go to that movie as well. So that's probably enough. But no, good little story there, and a bit of fun. We really need a bit of lightness in where we are at the moment, so it's good.
That's right. No damage done. A little bit of lighthearted humour. Yeah, like you said.
Yeah.
Put a smile on everyone's face when you see it.
Yeah, exactly right.
Okay, so I have a story from Brisbane. So in a suburb called Ferny Hills, which I think is out West Way,
I think you've spoken about Ferny Hills before.
I think I have. And so there was a cat burglar, literally, who was a cat who started thieving things from people's homes and made itself welcome at a new resident of one of some people who moved into a new house, and those owners of that house gave it pats and stuff like that, and then the cat disappeared, and then the next day the cat came back, brought another item that it pilfered from somewhere around the neighborhood, and the people thought it was quite funny and cute, and they got excited every morning to see, oh, I wonder what the cat bought this time. I think they nicknamed it Pirate Kitty. Pirate Kitty, haha, my kitties. So it kept doing that for days and days until they realized, you know what, this is getting a bit beyond a joke. Someone is losing or missing out on all these things, and so she posted on social media, I'm guessing it's Facebook. Yes, it was a Facebook group, and started posting photos of what the cat brought in, and so then people started going, "Oh, that's my toy," or that stuffed toy belongs to my kid, and stuff like that. And so it started getting famous around there, and everyone fell in love with him, and so story.
I'm just going to interrupt you for 2 seconds. I'll tell you my pirate joke.
Yep.
Why is the pirate such a good dancer?
No, don't know.
Because of its great booty.
Maybe this one does have a good boot too. I don't know. I'm not one to say. It'll sound wrong too. So this couple finally found were able to track down the ginger cat's owners, and it did have a loving home, and so obviously it came to this other house to provide the gifts, and then obviously was well looked after at the other house. But that household decided they couldn't look after the poor kitty cat, the thieving cat, anymore. So they tried to find a new home for it, and there was a lovely lady who said that she was happy to look after it because she normally looks after other cats, and the house was quite lonely without having any pets. And so this new
thieving
house, the thieving cat, found a new loving home. Still does its usual thieving things, but now does it indoors. The cat doesn't get let out anymore, and that happened just before Christmas. So funny story with a happy ending.
Oh, that's good. That is
Very
good
cute
to hear.
Yeah, I'm not a big fan of cats, but yeah, that's very cute.
Yeah, no, we've got a couple of cats. No, it's good. It's a nice little story. It's good. As I say, I mean, it's all about good news, and we need a bit of good news. So
yes,
that's a nice little story. And obviously, as always, once you'll have all the information on that in the show notes. So just look at those show notes as you download the podcast next week. I'm just going to go through quickly about what's on next week. On next week's show, Indelible Indigenous Day before Australia Day. Wency and I don't celebrate Australia Day. We do enjoy the day off, but we definitely don't celebrate it. And great people that did stuff, which is fantastic because I got a really good one for great people that did stuff, but it's a little bit out there. I heard about it this week and I went, oh, that's going to be a good one. And we've got Green There Done That, which we haven't done for quite a while. So it would be good to get Hannah back for that, but I can't see that happening. I think it's going to be too soon. But you're hopefully maybe getting a Hannah for next week's show.
Yeah. Either way, hopefully we'll have a Hannah next week.
Yes, that would be very, very good. So,
If we can
as
have
we
two
were,
Hannahs, it'd be better.
sorry, what was that?
If we can have two Hannahs, it would be even better.
Well, it would be, but it'd be a very, very long show. It'd be a good show, though.
Yeah.
It'd be amazing.
Yeah.
No, absolutely. Until next week, people. See you later, Wednesday.
See ya. Bye. Have fun. Have a great week.
You too, buddy.
Yeah. Bye.